Welcome. I'm so glad you are here. I'm Rachel Knox, and my contact information is on the screen in addition to the web address for the COCC intranet page for performance evaluations. Before we get started, I wanted to note that I will be referring to some colored arrows and boxes. The colors could be difficult to see. In addition, to keep this video succinct, I will not be going into great detail and I will be moving quickly through the material. If at any time while you are using PeopleAdmin Performance Evaluation Portal, you find that you need additional assistance, please send me an email or give me a call. Thank you for your patience as we continually improve the accessibility of presentations and our documentation for new technologies. In this brief video, I will highlight the purpose, process, and benefits of performance evaluations and how PeopleAdmin supports efficient and effective performance evaluations. Please note that performance evaluations at COCC have been undergoing a continual improvement process for the past several years. A number of task forces with representatives from areas throughout the college worked on improving paper evaluations for the change from a paper to a digital process. Performance evaluations at COCC are part of our COCC strategic plan values of supporting colleagues, fostering communication, and achieving excellence. A streamlined and effective performance evaluation process is one way COCC is putting our values into action. PeopleAdmin is COCC's human resource information system. It is not new to COCC. However, some modules are new, like performance management, where the performance evaluation portal lives, and professional learning. These were added to help the college achieve strategic goals and outcomes. For many employees, their last interaction with PeopleAdmin was during the job application and onboarding process. Other employees and supervisors who have served on hiring committees or used PeopleAdmin for recruitment activities will recognize the black screen shown on this page. This is one route to log into PeopleAdmin. During the 2023-2024 academic year, all classified and administrative employees will begin using PeopleAdmin for probationary and annual performance evaluations. There are various ways to access PeopleAdmin. The first way is to use the link that arrives in your email. If you use the link listed here as option 1, you will go directly to your dashboard in the COCC performance evaluation. Very briefly, let's take a quick look at an employee dashboard in the PeopleAdmin Performance Evaluation portal. This is Bobby Katsky's dashboard. We'll look at this dashboard in more detail in a few moments. For now, I want to draw your attention to the list of tasks that comprise the automated workflow for this classified annual evaluation. Note where the red arrow on the left side of the screen is pointing. You'll see the first step in the evaluation of Bobby's evaluation. Bobby is the employee. Bobby will get an email like the one you saw in the previous slide, and that email will include a link to this dashboard. The first email and the first task in the workflow belong to the employee. In our example, this is Bobby. Before we get back to logging into PeopleAdmin, let's take a quick look to the right where the blue arrow is pointing. Every task in PeopleAdmin will have a due date. The dates listed are recommended dates to keep the process moving. However, supervisors can communicate alternate or variations to the due dates listed in PeopleAdmin. The dates in the system won't change, but Bobby Katsky's supervisor could, for instance, tell Bobby that the self-evaluation needs to be done by March 10th instead of March 8th because Bobby's supervisor knows that they can move through the process in time to meet the final and unchangeable deadline, March 15th. Please note that tasks will open and show as overdue once the due date has passed. The tasks will still stay open. There will be no penalty. Again, please remember that the final deadline of March 15th, where the blue arrow is pointing, is an unchangeable date. March 15th is the date all completed classified evaluations are due and cannot be changed. The March 15th deadline is specified by the Classified Association of COCC Collective Bargaining Agreement. Now that you've seen a sneak peek of the workflow in PeopleAdmin Performance Evaluation Portal, let's take a look again at the email that accompanies each task. What you see here is an example email. Please note that the email comes from myhr@cocc.edu. Notice the red arrow on the right. It is pointing to the date and time the email is sent. You may notice that the time is 3:01 a.m. That is correct. All email from PeopleAdmin Performance Evaluation Portal are delivered overnight at 3 a.m. This is not a spam or a phishing email. Next, notice the blue arrow on the right. It's pointing to the bullet point that will list the task in the workflow that you need to log in and take action on. Just a reminder that you'll see the due date that is assigned for each task in the system. Again, a supervisor may communicate a different date than the one listed in the system. However, the final date of March 15th for all classified evaluations cannot be changed. Finally, notice the larger green arrow on the right. This arrow is pointing to the link that will take you to the dashboard we were just looking at. We just looked at the first option for accessing your PeopleAdmin Performance Evaluation Portal. On occasion, the link in the email may take you to an odd location in PeopleAdmin. Sometimes the system wants to open an old page that might be stored in the internet browser you're using. If you end up in an odd location in PeopleAdmin, use option 2 shown here to log in to PeopleAdmin. Go to the COCC intranet and open the evaluation page, which is listed on your screen. In the center of the screen, you'll see a live link titled Access Your PeopleAdmin Performance Evaluation Dashboard here. That link off of the evaluation intranet page takes you to the Performance Evaluation Portal. You'll land on the black screen shown in this slide. Notice the red arrow on the left. It's pointing to gold lettering in the center of the black screen. Click on that lettering for single sign-on and use your COCC email and password to sign into PeopleAdmin. This option should take you to your evaluation dashboard. If by some reason you don't arrive at your evaluation dashboard and the page in PeopleAdmin still looks odd, go on to step 2 here in option 2. Notice the green arrow pointing to the top corner of a PeopleAdmin screen. Click on the 3 blue dots. A drop-down menu will appear. Note that the blue arrow on the right side is pointing towards the COCC Performance Evaluation Portal. Click there to open your personal performance evaluation portal. Now you know a couple of ways to get into PeopleAdmin, including some troubleshooting options. Let's look at why we're making this change. What you see on the screen is part of the first page of the former paper classified evaluation. COCC is undergoing a digital transformation for performance evaluations. Please note that all features of the paper evaluation appear within the PeopleAdmin electronic or digital evaluation. We already took a quick look at the workflow in PeopleAdmin. The workflow, including automated emails, is an important feature for an efficient and interactive process. COCC's PeopleAdmin Performance Evaluation Portal provides an automated workflow and electronic storage of documents. This process improves version control. In other words, PeopleAdmin helps supervisors and employees move through the performance evaluation process more efficiently, instead of each person saving documents on their computer and never being really certain about whether they are using the most current, accurate, and complete version of the evaluation. All information is held in PeopleAdmin. You may remember that we talked about the employee dashboard and the due dates. Examples of due dates are listed here on the right-hand side of the screen. Remember that I mentioned that a supervisor may communicate a different date than the one listed in the system, but the final date of March 15th for all classified evaluations cannot be changed. There are two very important things to keep in mind. Number one, emails to the person who owns each task in the workflow will continue until the task is complete. And number two, as soon as a task is complete, the next task will immediately open. You do not need to wait for an email to run overnight. For example, employee Bobby Katsky completes their self-evaluation, which is task number one. As soon as Bobby clicks the complete button on the self-evaluation, the second task, which is owned by Bobby's supervisor, our CAT supervisor, will immediately open. Our CAT does not need to wait overnight to get into the system and start working on their supervisor evaluation. Let's take a closer look at Bobby Katsky's employee dashboard in the PeopleAdmin Performance Evaluation portal. It's essential to note that the classified evaluation begins with the employee self-evaluation. You may remember that I mentioned that moving to PeopleAdmin is a digital transformation. I also noted that all features of the paper classified evaluation were carried over into PeopleAdmin. In addition to the original classified evaluation and this digital transformation, there are two content updates as part of the change to PeopleAdmin. The first is that the workflow starts with a classified self-evaluation. This self-evaluation is not optional. One of the many pieces of feedback received about COCC performance evaluation processes over time was that sometimes, for some employees, the process didn't feel very interactive. By starting with an employee self-evaluation, we are taking an important step toward ensuring that the perspective of the employee and the supervisor are adequately captured. If you look at the red arrow to the left that points towards task number one, employee completes self-evaluation, we want to note that the self-evaluation is also known as the plan in PeopleAdmin. So if you look at the red arrow in the middle of the screen that's pointing towards the left, you'll see the word plan grayed out. The plan is the same thing as the employee self-evaluation. Anytime you see plan, think of employee self-evaluation. The addition of the self-evaluation is an important opportunity for classified employees to actively participate in the evaluation process by reflecting on the past year, considering areas of strengths, and opportunities for growth. You may have noticed that when we were looking at the last slide, I mentioned two content updates. Before we get to the second updated feature for performance evaluations in PeopleAdmin, let's look at a few important places on Bobby Katsky's dashboard. Starting with the yellow arrow that is over to the left, pointing left. You'll notice that Bobby's name is bold, and this is Bobby's evaluation. That yellow arrow just below Bobby's bold name indicates the position description or the job description for Bobby's job. If you click on that blue position description, it will open the position or job description in PeopleAdmin. This lives in the same location in the supervisor dashboard. So supervisors and employees can get to the position description here from the dashboard. These should be updated. If you notice that the position description that's linked there is not accurate, please let HR know. Next, let's take a look at the green arrow on the right side of the screen. Here you'll see Hello Bobby. That tells us that we are on Bobby's dashboard. So when you're on your own dashboard, it should say hello and your name. The bold name over on the left side where it says Bobby Katsky, that's telling you whose evaluation this is. So for instance, if Bobby was a supervisor, it could say hello Bobby over on the right, but on the left in bold, it might have a different name for one of Bobby's direct reports. Let's look at the purple arrow in the center of the screen. This column tells us who the owner of each task in the workflow is. There are 5 steps in the classified annual evaluation workflow, and each workflow task has an owner. Steps number 1 and 2 are the steps with input. Steps 3 through 5 are acknowledgement steps. Supervisors, please note that you have 2 back-to-back steps, numbers 2 and 3. During those steps, The supervisor evaluation of the employee cannot be seen by the employee. So that's a good time when you're in steps 2 and 3 for supervisors to write drafts or make notes. They haven't yet finalized the supervisor evaluation until step number 3 has been completed. So steps 2 and 3 must be completed for the employee to see the full supervisor evaluation. The first task, the employee self-evaluation, again, is owned by the employee, in this case, Bobby. Let's take a look at the red arrow pointing left. This is Bobby Katsky's plan. We know that the self-evaluation is also known as the plan. Finally, let's take a quick look at that blue arrow where it's listing the tasks. Again, we know that those are the different tasks owned by different people in succession. The first one is blue because we're on Bobby's dashboard, so Bobby can access that. You'll also notice that the number 1 in the box to the left of that task is showing as orange. When that task is complete, the box with the number 1 in it will turn green, and immediately the supervisor evaluation below, step number 2, will turn orange and open immediately for the supervisor to access. You may remember that I mentioned 2 new content features that add additional meaning and value to the classified evaluation in PeopleAdmin. On the paper evaluation, there was space to add behavioral competencies. However, defining competencies can be challenging. In PeopleAdmin, all classified employees share the same 3 competencies. The competencies listed for all classified employees in PeopleAdmin COCC Performance Evaluation Portal were determined by an analysis of COCC classified job descriptions across the organization. The 3 competencies listed are the most common competencies necessary to successfully perform essential duties and tasks across classified job descriptions. If you are interested in a more in-depth look at the competencies, please see the evaluation intranet page and open the document COCC Performance Evaluation Portal in PeopleAdmin Basics, or watch the video PeopleAdmin Performance Evaluation video number 2, Competencies, Primary Functions, and Goals. For now, remember that we are looking at the employee self-evaluation for Bobby Katsky. You'll notice that the red arrow is pointing to the plan, and we know that that's the self-evaluation, and the yellow arrow is pointing to the word customer service. This is the first of the 3 competencies. Now you're looking at a screen showing the classified evaluation core competencies. These again are the most common competencies across all job descriptions. Please note that they are not the only competencies, they are the most essential or foundational. There are 3 bullet points listed for each competency that serve as a starting point for classified employees to consider their work over the previous year. Employees and/or supervisors can address additional competencies in the overall check-in question of the classified evaluation, or additional competencies could be listed in the text boxes under any one of the core competencies. Again, if you are interested in a more in-depth look at the competencies, please see the evaluation intranet page for the document COCC Performance Evaluation Portal in PeopleAdmin Basics, or watch the video PeopleAdmin Performance Evaluation video number 2, Competencies, Primary Functions, and Goals. This video should have helped to get you a jump start to get into PeopleAdmin and begin working. Thank you for your time. Be sure to visit the HR Evaluation Intranet site, which is listed here. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me via email or phone. Performance evaluations at COCC support our COCC strategic plan values of supporting colleagues, fostering communication, and achieving excellence. A streamlined and effective performance evaluation process is one way COCC is putting our values in action. Thank you again for your time and your active participation in making performance evaluations meaningful and impactful.